Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Chase. We're here with a Bitcoin and Ethereum analysis trade setup type video. As usual, sponsored by Prime XBT. Check those guys out. I have links at the bottom of the screen here. You get a 50% deposit bonus on any Bitcoin you deposit. So you deposit, 1 Bitcoin, you get 1.5 to trade with. All right, let's get into it. So I'm gonna say right off the bat, I think we're looking at some choppy price action in here. I don't know if I'll be able to give anything that's extremely high confidence today, but I also think that, if I'm somewhat lost, then most likely a lot of people are. So let's just mark this out, all right? Even when you zoom out on BTC right now in the daily, I don't feel like things are extremely clear. Obviously we can see, we put in sort of three drives here, three highs, and then we broke below the low, but it was sort of, like a liquidity grab. We're going to mark this stuff out. Basically my point is that it doesn't seem that like this price action is as relevant to this. I'll show you. So here's how I've been drawing it. I have a range high here, and I have a range low here. Let's just take the range tool. It's actually the fib tool, but you make it look like a range. So you draw that in there, and now we can see some good respect on this, okay? You can see we put in a high, we put in a low. We come up, we run liquidity of the highs, right? We talked about this. So you run the liquidity, you come back in, you break back down below, and that's when you can get short off the previous level, okay? So that would have been a setup right there, just to try to, provide some teaching within this video. So there you go, and you'd play it to the other side of the range. 4R right there. I honestly have no idea if I took that. I know I did sell some BTC around here, like some spot sells, so I probably wasn't looking to also be margin short, but yeah, is what it is. So anyway, took this liquidity, we come down, and then we take this side. So far we're just playing out as a typical range, and most likely going to be seeing, some choppy price action in here. Now I would say if we can flip this area, back to support, then obviously it would be looking like we're going towards range high, but so far it looks like this is a bit of resistance. But yeah, flipping that back, obviously think we get towards the range high. Ultimately, if I had to give my true opinion here, I'm just wondering, where is liquidity in this market? Because if you look at it from strictly a liquidity standpoint, you ran the level, right? And you come up here, you run this level, right? Our range high that we just talked about. So if we were just talking strictly liquidity, ran this, you ran this, but where else is there to go? You either have a situation where if you're flipping the high, right? If you're flipping the range high and you're flipping this area to support, we're most likely just breaking out higher. It's pretty much just that simple. But on the other hand, I'm looking towards the downside, and on downside, the obvious level is here. And I know it's quite low, and everyone will say, oh, no, it's not even possible. It's not even possible. I know, but, hear me out. No one thought any type of a dump was possible back in 2017 either, right? We were at 20K, we were at 18K. Everyone was, cheering from the hills. There were very few people who were talking about any type of retracement or anything. So the vibe is, somewhat similar now, not as euphoric as it was. I mean, I was, same place I am now, back in the 2017 top, sort of just, chilling, crypto Twitter, trading. So I remember the atmosphere. There'll be some people who, tell you I definitely, tried to say this is getting a bit crazy. And the problem is we're not seeing anything extremely crazy out of Bitcoin, though. But we are seeing some craziness out of Ethereum and also now Doge. But it's not necessarily new capital influx when you look at the overall crypto market cap. It's sort of just capital moving around. So if I had to, make a gut call, I do feel like lower liquidity is what's next eventually. It may take some time. We may chop for a bit. I really don't know. And then we may sweep eventually. And then I ultimately do think that you probably have at least one more push in the tank. Where would I be buying that? This is probably spot buys, right? You don't really want to be, and like I said, we'll use this video to try to do a bit of teaching since, I don't have anything super solid for you guys, but still want to teach some stuff. So where are you going to buy in here? You have to think, okay, I want to buy some spot, or do I want to be on leverage or margin, whatever you want to say. You don't want to be leveraged and margined in here usually, because there's so many different setups you could play. There's either there's rate below the low, okay? So some people might play this and it might bounce, but then it might come back down. Some people may play the previous level, this previous level high right here, okay? Some people may play this closer level here. Some people may play the origin of the impulse, which is here. So there's literally like 4 or 5 different levels in here that's, people may choose, and I'm not exactly sure where it's going to bounce when you have this type of situation. So all I can do is mark out a nice big box of where I think it would bounce, somewhere between here and here. And then what do we do with this? Because this is such a wide box. Well, what we do is we layer our bids. So if we're trying to buy, let's say we're trying to buy 100,000 worth of Bitcoin, then we have 10K, 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 10K. You get what I'm saying? So we'll evenly spread our bids in here, or you can even iceberg them a little bit, like, if you wanted to have, lesser bids at the top, but then you have a chance that you might not get an adequate fill or a fill that you're happy with, right? Like if you did 5K, 5K, 10K, 10K, 20K, 20K. You could do that as well, but optimally, my scenario is typically just to do equal bids and fill the whole area. And obviously, as I said, I'm doing this as spot purchases, and I wouldn't be subject to liquidation or anything of that nature. Okay, just let me take a sip of water. Moving forward to ETH. I think we can see that this is just an obvious breakout leg here. I called this week when we hit 3K or whatever. I said we're going to 3,500 basically. Or I wouldn't be surprised if we go to 3,500. We did. Looks like it's flagging, right? I would not be surprised if we saw it continue to go. But with that said, I've talked about this many times in my portfolio video. I sold spot ETH in here, and I posted about that as well. Sold about 25% so far. So just because it's going up, it's going parabolic, it looks good and whatnot, I mean, you got to take some profit. I think there's a lot of people new here from, 2020, late 2020, 2021, and, they probably got in ETH at 2.6K or something, or they got in ETH at 2K, and they don't think, oh, well, it's only up, it's not even up 2X. Yeah, but, there's a lot of us who have been in since literally, when it crashed to $80. So you got to remember that there are people taking profit. There's been people in crypto for quite a long time. And just because, you jumped in at 3K doesn't mean it has to go to 6K. Okay? So I definitely took profits in here, as I said. I'm looking at the FBTC chart to take some more profit when we get towards the 0.07-ish level. Right around here, I'll be looking to take more profit. I'll probably be taking another 20-25% around here. Then I'd be out about 50%, and I'd have 50% left in case we were to do some type of insane bubble top crazy run, right? If we were just to go crazy bubble status like we did sort of in 2017, then I would still have 50% left. Okay, because it's important to lock in profit, but it's also important to keep a bag, right? Don't ever be the person who, they kept nothing and, ETH's 10K, but you sold it all at 3K. And you also don't want to be the person who, didn't sell any at 3K and it went back down to 1,300, okay? And all this is possible in due time. So I know this is, more of a just a talking to you guys video, but hopefully some of this stuff is helpful because, look, it's getting crazy, man. Dogecoin's about to flip. Dogecoin's about to flip BNB in market cap. Like, if you wanted some signs that, things are getting crazy and there's a whole lot of risk flying around, and I don't know, this is it, in my opinion. Things are getting crazy. So, as I said, I personally took a good amount of profit on everything. I'm closer to 50-50 than I've been in a long time when it comes to crypto and fiat and whatnot. I'm closer to 50-50 than I've been in quite some time. And if things keep going, cool, man. Look, I'm all for letting my spot bags keep running, and I'll keep taking more profit, because that's what this game is at the end of the day. For every single crypto Twitter account you see nowadays, there was so many of those guys that didn't make it. Like the meme, not gonna make it. There was a whole lot of people who didn't make it, I'll tell you that. 2017 to now, I recognize really just a couple faces. It's like me and like 20, 30 other dudes on here, or maybe some women too, and that's about it. So try to be one of those people who make it. Don't let yourself get wiped out. Don't be extremely greedy. Take profits, but also leave a moon bag, or even more than a moon bag, right? I mean, it's not like I sold 90% or anything. Like I said, I'm closer to 50-50 nowadays, and I'm watching things closely. But ultimately, yeah, I'm looking for some type of catalyst here to understand what's going on. I need to see BTC have a major reclaim. I need to see some strength out of Bitcoin, because right now all I'm seeing personally is just a lot of musical chair type. People are just need to do something with their dollars, because people have a lot of dollars because we're printing a lot of dollars, and people need something to do with that money, but they don't seem to be buying Bitcoin right now with any type of urgency, right? When we're looking at some of these levels, we're seeing levels like basically just not even be fully respected. You would think, right, that if Bitcoin was to be super bullish right here, we would have front run this level right here. Because look, we came up, resistance, we plow through it. Now, what does a bullish Bitcoin do when it plows through price action like this? It would probably do this. It would probably do this, put in a little something, maybe sweep real quick, front run the actual level, okay? It front runs the level, and then it goes. And we should have got towards like here, in my opinion, if we were very bullish, the top of this impulse move down here. And we couldn't even do that. Instead, we do what Bitcoin's been doing usually lately, which is come right back down to the origin of impulse and get basically a shitty bounce that's yet to prove anything, and just chops people who have been trying to take positions. In my opinion, right? I'm sure there's people who have been profitable in here, no doubt at all. But all I'm saying is I'm not seeing anything that's convincing me to take any type of swing position in here. There's lots of scalps and whatnot you can do in here, but I'm not seeing anything that's like, oh yeah, need to get long, headed towards 70K. Okay, that's just not the case. All right, so we covered BTC. We covered ETH. If we do get an ETH dump, I would watch around probably a stop run of 3K, right? Like purely psychological, and we could see a bit of a level here, right? So we would watch, sort of origin of impulse in this area here. Yeah, so we had resistance, we had some consolidation, and we bounce off here. This is slightly below 3,000. This is basically the level I would want to see hold, at least for the short term, right? If I was looking for a short-term trade, it's tough because if you get a strong movement down, you could spit out a wick because of just slippage and whatnot, and a wick could come if people are over leveraged, and it's very difficult to say, oh well, just because this level is sound, just because it's a sound level, doesn't mean it will 100% support price, because if price is coming down hard and you have people who are heavily leveraged in here, you can get slippage and you can get a wick through the level. So that's why typically if I was to play something like this, because it's quite far away from where current price is, I'll most likely try to set a price alarm, right? And wait for price to come in here and see, okay, everything looks okay. We're not getting any type of crazy slippage. I mark it in and then, you know, have a stop probably somewhere down here or something. But yeah, basically this is the level, and you could think of it as a stop run below 3,000 into support. That's really the name of the game right there. So you'll have a lot of people who have their stops below 3K. So they'll have stops below 3,000, and that'll be support. So you'll run 3,000 into support and then come back up, and then obviously you're going to have this big chunk here. You're going to have to take at least like 60 or 70% profit, because who's to say that you're going to push through all this you know, type of volume that's occurring in here. If this breaks down, there's going to be a lot of people who want to get out of this. So you would probably long this, take profits in here, and reevaluate from there. See, you know, if it can flip all this to back to support, then sure. But it would seem unlikely on the first try. Okay, so hopefully this video was helpful, everybody. And yeah, check out Prime XBT. I'll talk to you guys soon.